Good day here. It is Doug Upstone for Vegas Pro Insiders Daily, and today is Friday, December the 15th. Just 10 days till Christmas. Here's what we got lined up. And speaking of lining up, we have a lot of ground to cover, and so we're going to get to it. So it's going to be at a speedy pace to get all this done today. We're going to start with the idea of you can get I put up today a bowl package. You can get every bowl game in every selection from our 5 top handicappers, including yours truly, $59.99. Okay, we'll have picks on all 40 games for sure. I know sides and totals, plus all bunch of tips, so you can get all of those things. Right now, in recent streaks of all of our top 5 handicappers, if you bet $100 a game, you'd be up $7,200 in college football. And if you were betting $500 a game, you'd be up over $36,000 betting college football. Not too shabby, right? One other thing I'll just throw out there, yours truly has been on a nice roll. Have done very well in college and basketball and college basketball and the NBA. I am right now at Capper's Monitor, #1 in both of those for win percentage. So it's really been going well. 10-1 in the NBA. You can also, that's another membership you can consider, $39.99 to become a VPID member. Okay, enough of that. Let's get to some football. And first we're going to go day by day. We're going to start with Saturday. Going to do the college first. So we're going to do that. Covered both the NFL games on Saturday. Roll into the NFL then on Sunday. All right, here we go. North Texas, Troy. A big one. This one actually changed late on this for the New Orleans Bowl. What's happened is that bettors took a second look at Troy's defense, which is quite good, and they looked at the North Texas defense, not so good. Other thing that comes into play, Mean Green have a very good passing attack. The Trojans are very good at sacking quarterbacks and making disruptive plays. Those are the reasons why Troy has gone from -5.5 up to -7. 79% of bettors are on Troy, and I am on board with that as well. Next game, the Cure Bowl. The total has gone up 3 points to 53.5. Georgia State and Western Kentucky is that game. Again, 2 trains of thought on this one. Western Kentucky, the thought process, I think, is that they will score more points than what originally was expected. So that plays into it. The Georgia State defense is decent, but not great. Or the Georgia State quarterback, Connor Manning, who can be pretty good to not very good at all. I guess they're thinking the possibility he might be better in this particular game. So that's why the spread went up 3.5 points, despite the fact that Georgia State's only scoring 19.7 points per game. Neither defense is particularly overwhelming. That's why they're in the Cure Bowl, right? So from that standpoint, that's a field goal in this game. I mean, 3 points is a lot, but it's only a field goal with these two teams. I have no problem taking the over, and 81% of bettors, okay, are also on over. Now we'll go over some of the games from from our conversation on Tuesday. Boise State and Oregon in the Las Vegas Bowl. The Oregon went to 7.5. They have since gone back to 7. I think probably because Royce Freeman has announced he will not be playing in this game as the Ducks' all-time leading rusher, heading to the NFL or getting ready for the NFL draft. Doesn't want to get hurt, so he won't be playing. Not a fan of this, but the way things are. I also have reports that Boise State is very excited to be in this bowl games. So you know what? I'll snap up the 7.5. The 7 points on this one. I'll take Boise State. Marshall, Colorado State. Now that total went up 3 points from 55 to 58 in the New Mexico Bowl. It stayed right where it's at, 58, been locked right there. As I said the other day, I think this is a bowl game that has the potential to have a lower scoring game. I thought 55 probably was a little high to begin with. I certainly think 58 is too high. I like the under in the New Mexico Bowl. Finally, one more bowl game, the Camellia Bowl. Middle Tennessee State and Arkansas State. Now this game went up huge, all the way to 62.5. Guess what? buyback. It's back down now to 61.5, and I even saw a few 61s. We'll see where that falls out. If you like the over like I do, I'd say either be patient, hoping that it goes down a little further, and or snap it up now. That'd be my recommendation for that. I like the over. Now let's head to the games on the NFL Network on Saturday. Chicago Bears, Detroit Lions. On this one, the Lions, not much faith in them. The roar of the lion has been silenced. It's now their Lions are down to 4.5, and I even saw a few 4s on this game against the Bears. You know, the Bears played great last week. Detroit is a so-so home favorite, plays a lot of close games. I don't know. I think that I'm not sold on the Bears. I think the Lions are still going to be the play. Maybe I'll be wrong on this one, but I got to lean with the Lions in this one. Saturday night, Kansas City and the Chargers in a big game. Now, Chargers were flipped from -1 to -1.5, and there again, we have a buyback on this. The Chargers are either at a pick or -1 at all the sports books I checked. Bettors just liking Kansas City at home. Myself, I'm going to go with the better team, or at least my perception of the better team, and that is going to be the Los Angeles Chargers on this one. Phillip Rivers, the defense, everything, I think they're playing better. I think they can certainly win in Kansas City. Have in the past. I think they can do it again. Now, let's move ahead to Sunday. We'll get things going here. We got a total continued movement on Houston and Jacksonville. That total went from 40 down to 39. And now as the week's gone along, there's just more and more questions how Houston's going to score with TJ Yates as their quarterback. The total has tumbled down to 38. I agree. I think that the under is going to be the play on that one. We got a little extra on this one. Washington and Arizona. That's going to be played in Virginia. Not, as I say, our nation's capital, but it's actually going to be played in Virginia. Come on, train of thought here. Come on, Doug. Okay, here we go. Let's do it again. Arizona slipped from 5.5 down to 4.5, and they're now a solid +4 at Washington. Now, with this in mind, the other thing that has occurred is the total has gone down with it as well, from 44 down to 41.5. The aforementioned injuries, what I talked about the other day with Washington, certainly is playing a part in the side coming down, along with the idea of the total coming down. And in terms of the total, I think there's definite concerns that Arizona can cross the goal line on a consistent basis to keep that score up. Last week, 4 field goals. I'm just not sold on their offense at all right now. I mean, their defense hasn't been bad, so I think that's part of the deal here. I think this could be a very close game. So myself, I'm going to take Arizona and the under for this game. Baltimore and Cleveland, as I mentioned, big rivalry. Well, rivalry in the sense for Cleveland fans. They hate Baltimore. I mentioned that the other day. The line, though, has stayed the same. Flat out, right on 7. Hasn't budged at all. I'm good with that. I like the Ravens in this one. I liked them the other day. I'm going to stick right with them again here. I think Cleveland's going to make a mistake. I guess that's the big thing. That's going to be turned into points. So a lot of the game itself, like some of these Cleveland games, it could be close, but there's just going to be that one play that's going to create the separation. I'm sticking with that. Big game. Seattle and the Los Angeles Rams. Now, in this one, the Rams were flipped from an underdog and to a favorite, up to 1.5. But you know what? As the week went along, the action turned and just completely flipped right back, as that Seattle is now a 2.5-point favorite, as bettors prefer, especially sharp bettors, prefer the more experience in a big game, which is what you're going to get from Seattle, and then also being at home. I will agree with the direction of that particular alignment to take Seattle. Tennessee went from +1 to +2 at San Francisco. I mentioned about the difference, at least in my opinion, Jimmy Garoppolo being the better quarterback than Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota was a bad boy, according to his mother, where he was not very friendly in the press conference the other day, and he was told by mommy, knock it off, big boy. So with that, that's not the reason here, but that's kind of a fun backstory, I guess. What's happened, though, is that Tennessee is now getting some love. They're back to +1 against San Francisco. I got a hunch that Tennessee, after several dull performances, I think they're going to come through, and I think they're going to beat San Francisco on the road, kind of keep themselves back in contention or stay in contention with Jacksonville. Sunday Night Football, the Raiders and Dallas. This game, Dallas went from a pick to -3. Stayed there all week, hasn't budged. I'm in 100% agreement with that. I think the Raiders are absolutely done. Lifeless team, showed nothing to me last week, and even in their more recent victories, hardly impressive. Dallas kind of got their act back together. Have an outside shot at the playoffs, not a very good one. I think Dallas covers this one, no problem. Monday Night Football for our last game. Atlanta, Tampa Bay. Atlanta went from -5 up to -6.5. I think Matt Ryan, the boys, I think they're in a great situation here. I think they're going to roll. I have seen a few sports books up to 6.5. So if you like the Falcons, now's the time to get it, because I think that number by Monday is going to definitely go up. I wouldn't be surprised to see a 7 at all. Jump on board while you can get it right now. Hey, so that's everything. I know it was fast, I know it was quick, but there's a lot to get to. So this is Doug Upstone for Vegas Pro Insiders Daily. Consider that bowl package. Consider becoming a VPID member. All those things. We'll look forward to talking to you next week with more bowl games and everything else we'll have to throw in there. Have a great weekend. I know I'm going to supply a lot of winners. I hope you have a lot of winners, and I hope these videos or this video gives you some winners as well. As of right now, I am out.